Hey everyone, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk the Rings of Power. And what a crazy episode we're coming off of last week. It feels like after 5 episodes of character introduction and expository chess piece moving as we set the board of this new time period, we finally got a ton of action last episode, and boy did it deliver. It looked amazing, super dramatic, unpredictable, and we were left with this massive cliffhanger of the birth of Mount Doom as Adar tricked our Southlanders and Galadriel and the Númenóreans by smuggling out the Theo's hilt with the leader of the Southlanders that went evil. And I keep forgetting that guy's name. But that guy took the hilt to the tower in Osterith, where there's this key in the stone, this lock in the stone, and after fueling up the hilt to make it a full-length sword, inserted that sword, which is also a key, unlocked the dam, which filled all the tunnels that the orcs have been digging, and ultimately caused the eruption of Mount Doom and the birth of Mordor. So, great, Halbrand's the newly declared king of the Southlands, but the Southlands are no more. Will his newly found subjects still follow him? Where will they go? Will Galadriel and the Númenóreans help them, or are they on their own? Hard to say. And we're left at the very end of that episode. We don't know where Theo is. He kind of disappeared in all the confusion of massive lava rocks falling from the sky. Galadriel's just staring down this impending cataclysm of volcanic ash and hot volcanic gas and all the rest of that. But she's an elf, so she ought to survive. But that doesn't help all the Southlanders who are about to be destroyed by this eruption. And yet somehow or other, I suspect most of our named characters, the ones that we've been following for the last 6 episodes, are somehow miraculously going to survive. But let's see what happens there. Then we've got other storylines completely. We've still got Elrond with the dwarves. We've got Nori and the Stranger still on their annual migration. But mostly we have the immediate aftermath of the eruption of Mount Doom. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where this episode goes, except it's called The Eye. And if you're thinking about an eye and you're in the world of Tolkien, you're thinking about Sauron's eye, the great eye over the tower. We saw one of these beings all in white with a staff, and that headpiece looked very much like the Eye of Sauron too. Maybe that person was Sauron. Maybe Sauron is somebody in disguise. Could still be Halbrand. Could be somebody else entirely. Let's watch and find out. This is episode 7 of The Rings of Power, and it's called The Eye.
At the first brush of the oak leaves, we head to the grove. So the only trouble is there's 100 perils between here and there.
Yeah. Who's that person? Where do you take shelter? There is no shelter that'll save you from that. But man, does that look good. Who is it? It's volcanic ash. You're not just like... It's hot. It's not just dust. But that's Galadriel. With that armor. Did anyone else survive? I hope there's some more survivors, but I don't want there to be an unrealistic number of survivors either. Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no! Poor horse! Now we know Isildur wasn't in the village. He was up tending to the horses with Elrond, so maybe they survived. Okay, yeah, there's some other survivors already. Oh, there. That sounds like Theo.
Stay with me.
pretty good fire effects. Oh. Muriel survives. That's awesome. Oh. Oh no. I could have sworn Isildur wasn't in the village, but okay. Here he is. Alright, I'm impressed with the queen. I wouldn't have expected her to be so hands-on.
Step forward. Stay together. Hurry, my queen.
The queen? Oh my god.
Isildur!
Well, we know Isildur survives.
Just smell that. Wood smoke. The others must have started baking.
Oh, this is too positive. What's happened? Are all the others killed? Oh my god. What happened? Oh, this is... They were wiped out by the volcano.
A new evil is rising.
It's not the stranger. Well, it might be the stranger, but not this time.
You don't suppose
Suppose what?
maybe he could fix it?
Yes, go on, Dory. Fix those wounds. What you waiting for?
I'll ask him then.
See what we can do with magic.
Magic.
At least they're viewing him as a resource and not evil, though.
Likely little words, so the tree will understand.
Trees don't talk.
No,
Some do.
ents aren't trees. Just gonna heal the tree?
Very close.
No.
It's working.
Just like Sadok said he would.
They're okay. They're okay. They're okay.
Are you alright? I'm alright.
I'm a peril. It's like he doesn't quite know how to control his magic yet. It's too emotional.
I never made a promise I didn't.
Speaks Dwarvish.
You've learned a few words of Stone Tongue. Tell me, why should we trust any elf?
You should not,
Well, you should trust me.
but you can trust me. That is why I stand before you now alone. Pleading.
That kneeling seems so important because it takes him below his eye level. Changes the perspective between the two of them completely.
I will speak to my son now.
Okay. Well, we suspect Durin Jr. will do the right thing and help his friend.
I will not risk dwarven lives to help the elves cheat death.
My friend is drowning. You expect me to swat his hand away because you're afraid of a bloody rockfall?
The fate of the elves was decided many ages ago. I am sorry, my son,
It's honestly probably the right choice, but
but their time has come.
devastating to Prince Durin.
What if he's right?
You're not thinking of letting this happen!
He's our king.
Yeah. That's all you need to see. That, yeah. Oh.
We say no more.
Oh, he's learned Elvish. Oh man, I love their relationship. Durin and Elrond. Oh, nice shuffle. What does it do to the leaf? What does it do? Are we gonna see it heal the leaf?
Elrond!
So we know it would work.
It isn't your fault. Yes, it is.
Theo thinks it's his. Oh, lots of survivors. But yeah, you've got to leave. There's a few faces we haven't seen yet, though. Halbrand, Arendir. Oh.
Isildur.
Isildur might be in the ruins of that burned out house. We haven't seen Bronwyn,
My queen.
Arendir, Isildur. She saw Isildur die.
Captain, Captain, where is he? Where is my son?
They're dead, aren't they?
What cannot be known?
How did these two get so separated from everybody
Fill it
else?
not with guesswork.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of these two just talking, but
How many have you killed?
Many.
Good.
It darkens the heart to call dark deeds good. It gives place for evil to thrive inside us. Of that every soldier must be mindful.
Why soldier then?
oh wow!
Perhaps we can make one of you yet.
Here, start with an elven sword.
How much further until we're clear of this smoke? How long have we been clear of it?
Nearly a mile.
I see.
Do you? Has she gone blind, or is she just kind of in such a daze?
Do you?
Only Grey. Guide my horse. No one need notice. Please,
Yeah.
keep walking.
Do your duty to your queen.
You'll find the big folk settlements on the far side.
Well, they're
Hey,
sending
look.
him.
The people there can help you find your
They're
scars.
sending him on his way. Well, at least the Harfoots made it to where they needed to go. Oh, and look, he did bring back a little life. That's a perfect apple, except I prefer Granny Smith's to red apples. But is she gonna keep wandering with him?
Now I understand. I'm just a Harfoot. That's all I'll ever be.
All right, she's squanched her dreams right back down into that part of you never even listen to.
Have you ever lost someone close?
My brother, Finrod. And my husband.
Husband?
Did we know she was married? I don't think we did.
It isn't your fault. It's mine.
You did not intend for this to happen.
I gave power to the enemy, so that makes me responsible.
Do not take the burden of this day upon your shoulders, Theo. You may find it difficult to put it down again.
You carry that for forever.
But-
And if anyone knows, she does.
How am I to let it go?
I wish I could tell you. Orcs.
Nothing but ashes.
Rest where you can. We move at first light.
What like?
Oh, the despair is setting in. Oh, this is the Mithril Mine. Oh, jeez.
You lost on purpose.
My aim was never to defeat you, but to gain your ear a while longer.
Elf lies.
I love these two.
I always thought you were mighty dwarvish for an elf.
And you are a rather elvish dwarf, Durin.
We do have our secret names. For
Okay.
use only amongst ourselves.
Really?
We reveal them only to family. Wives, parents,
Brothers.
brothers. Elrond.
You save it, Durin.
I love how sentimental Durin is. I love how sentimental he is.
Aye.
The man's got such... Well, the dwarf has such a huge heart. This feels so dangerous. It feels like we're gonna lose Durin. Well, there's Asim. Is it just like the tree roots from the myth that we were told? Yeah. Uh-oh.
She's the elf.
Oh, banished. Oh, I can save them all. He's got the one piece. Is that enough to, like, stick in the tree at Linden and at least save that one spot? Like, what's its range of effect?
Folks said you'd never see a first winter. Our son would live. And he would move mountains!
You speak of greatness for me, but you suffocate in me any ambition. Elrond is as much a brother to me as if he'd been fired in my own mother's womb.
How dare you?
Squandering our future so you can cling to the past! You profane the crown you wear!
Wow. These performances. I don't know exactly what that signifies, but I'm going to assume it's like Crown Prince or something like that.
It's not yours anymore.
You've been disowned?
We have to save them! Why don't you take a look outside? And then we'll talk.
Is the grove all regrown?
How? How'd you think?
Yeah, of course.
They say his little daughter, he could not help but...
Uh-oh. What do we see? What do you think? Troll? What happened to Poppy? That's not just her running away. That's her getting grabbed. Maybe. Oh. They're that close. Who are these? Oh, okay, no, that's Poppy, right? She just made super scarce. They're following the stranger. They went to his impact crater, now they're here. They're seeing the effects of his magic. Does that make them Valar?
Wait! You're going the wrong way!
Are they gonna believe her? That's so... Oh, jeez. How'd the...
All right! You harm a hair on her foot, and I'll brain the lot of you.
Oh, boy. What are they? No! They're evil! My god. What were they? What are they? Is this where the stranger's going? Oh, no, that's the Númenorian camp. Okay. That's Isildur's horse, right?
He won't listen to you. He won't listen to any of us.
The horse knows. Isildur's not dead. So you're setting him free. Wow. Great shot. What a beautiful shot.
I should never have pulled the elf on board.
Oh, and now she's going to show up. So we still haven't seen Bronwyn or Arendir. Is this the Queen's tent, I assume? No, definitely not. Medical tent? Oh man, that's awesome makeup, but it's horrifying.
Theo?
No. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh.
Galadriel.
So the only major character unaccounted for is Halbrand, which kind of reinforces the idea that he could be
No
Sauron.
one kneels in Númenor.
You are not in Númenor. A fault that is mine alone.
Our ships are waiting, my queen.
Do not spend your pity on me, elf. Save it for our enemies.
Save pity
For
for the
they
enemies.
do not know what they have begun.
Oh, she's got this whole Oracle vibe now, doesn't she? The blind seer.
Numenor will return.
Then the elves will be ready.
But there's one thing we can do, I warn. Better than any creature in all Middle-earth.
We survive.
We stay true to each other. And we just keep walking.
Carry on.
Nori, where are you going?
She's going to keep walking.
To help my friend.
Now? Alone?
She won't be alone.
Oh, Poppy is going to be her Sam.
You girls aren't going anywhere.
Without me.
Not without me.
Oh, we got a whole fellowship of the Harfoots.
You might never come out alive. They might, if a trail finder were to go with them.
Oh, all right.
You know, Malva, just once, it would be grand if you weren't right all the time.
All right, so it's at least a team of 4, and I'm assuming Dad's coming
Doesn't
too.
matter anyway, we're all gonna die.
So what, there's like
Think we'll be able to find him?
5 of us? No, Dad's not going. Okay. All right.
But what of our king?
Yeah.
Your king.
Oh? Has he died?
I thought you had died.
No.
This wound needs elvish medicine. Can he ride?
Take him to Linden, is that the idea? Or one of the other elvish cities?
I will not abandon these lands and condemn them to burn. Nor will you.
Keep it. Soldier.
Commander.
Straight to the southland!
Well, this is very rousing. It feels like season finale. Stay tuned for season 2.
That's all my fault.
No. It's your father's. He's grown too old. One day this will be your kingdom. During the Fourths. And together we will rule this mountain and all others before our time is done.
I love Deese's like focus and passion and ambition, but I'm afraid that's going to be the downfall.
Seal it up.
Oh, what's this leaf going to do? Let's see all the mithril. Oh. What's down at the bottom? Balrog! Jeez. Is that the Balrog from the myth?
Hail Adar, Lord of the Southland.
That is the name of a place
Yeah.
that no longer exists.
Lord of
Or shall we
Mordor.
call it instead, Lord Father?
It's Mordor, come on, we know. Scratch it off. There we go. Yeah. If I didn't know that this was an 8-episode season, I would say that this is the season finale. It feels very much in the Game of Thrones model, where the massive event of the season happens in the 9th out of 10 episodes. And then the 10th episode is kind of like a regrouping episode, starting a couple of new storylines and giving us a hint of what the next season's going to be all about. This is the exact same vibe. Last episode was where all the crazy action, the battle between the orcs and the Southlanders and the Númenóreans was, the unleashing of Mount Doom, everything else. And then this was the taking stock episode. But we have another episode to go next week. So it's an interesting rhythm, and I'm very curious to see what next week's all about, because this really feels like, okay, next season, Nori and Poppy and Nori's mom and Sadok are going to be searching for the stranger, protecting him from these 3 beings in white. It feels like Prince Durin is going to perhaps even start a civil war against his father for control of the crown. It feels like Galadriel's going to be escorting Halbrand to one of the elven cities so that he can heal, so that he can return and lead the Southlanders in their new home. And it feels like Mordor is born. This feels like a place to stop a season. But I'm super curious about what happens next. There were some really interesting themes in this episode. The assignment of blame. Whose fault was the events leading up to Mount Doom? Theo blames himself. Galadriel blames herself. When Prince Durin and his wife are talking at the very end, Durin says, "This is all my fault," and it's like, no, it's your father's. The Harfoots realize that none of this was the stranger's fault, but they've been using him as a scapegoat for most of the season. And there's no answers. It's just one of these like common questions. Like after disaster, it's about the assignment of blame, and there's for some people, for a lot of people, there's almost this unquenchable urge to shoulder the blame yourself, for better or for worse. But it was interesting to see that idea repeated over and over again in this episode. We obviously have one question of survival. I thought we wouldn't know about what happened to Halbrand in this episode, but it turns out he did survive. He has been escorted back to camp. Now he's going to the elves to be healed. But Isildur apparently died when that house collapsed on him, when he was trying to save some of the Southlanders. And yet we know Isildur survives because of the opening scenes of Fellowship. So how does he survive, and what does he do next? Because no one's going back into Mordor to look for him, and the orcs are in the village site right now. So are we going to get Isildur sneaking out of there under their noses, maybe killing a couple of orcs on the way, maybe killing Waldreg or Adar even before he gets out? But yeah, this sort of confirms a lot of things. We know that the Southlands are now Mordor. That was apparent, but now it's official. Theo is a soldier. I don't know who Theo becomes, but I feel like he's going to become a great soldier. I feel like he might even end up being one of the kings of men one day. Now, if he's one that gets the ring, I don't know. Gets one of the rings, I don't know. Does he end up being one of the Nazgul, like a lot of people think Halbrand is going to become? Who knows? I'm curious about Muriel. She went in a direction I didn't anticipate. When we first meet her, she's not necessarily, she's a regent. She's a bit of a politician. You don't really feel like, this is a character you're going to get behind. But she's super proactive in the immediate aftermath of the volcanic eruption. She's saving people. She's getting her hands dirty. And then somewhere in all of that, she loses her eyesight. And she hides it because she knows her people still need a leader, and she doesn't want that word to spread too far. And yet, she becomes more certain than ever that she needs to keep Numenor allied to the elves, and she makes this promise as they leave that they will return. Now, I know Numenor is eventually sunk, but I don't know when in relation to all of this. So, do the Numenorians return in the future, or does disaster befall that country before they have the chance to make good on their promise? I don't know. Are there Numenorians in the battle that ends the Second Age and cuts the One Ring from Sauron's hand? I don't know. Questions. Many questions. And who are these creatures that are hunting the stranger now? clearly they're evil. I mean, or at the very least, completely incapable of sympathy or compassion. Like they have no regard for the Harfoots. They just torch the village like it's nothing and move on their way. Obviously, Nori was trying to send them off in a different direction so that they wouldn't follow the stranger, who I'm leaning more and more in believing is Gandalf. But I love that there's this little posse of Harfoots now striking out to save him against these three beings that seem incredibly powerful and dangerous. And is the stranger one of them, or are they like mortal enemies? I don't know enough of the mythology of Tolkien to, like, some people in the comments are telling me that Sauron is a Maya. I don't know what the Maya are. I don't fully understand the relationship between who the Valar are. I think they're basically the angels, but to the elves, what's the relationship there? So I'm really more just saying names that I've heard than really understanding what these possibilities really mean, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. I mean, I'm learning as we go, and I'm being given just enough information through the comments from you guys who know this stuff so much better than me. And it's not spoilers, but you're sort of filling me in on the backstory and the history of Middle-earth and all the rest of it. And I'm like, I'm trying to pick it up as I go, but it's no substitute for immersing myself in Tolkien. Nevertheless, I'm super intrigued. I'm really curious what happens next, because if you told me this was the season finale, I'd be like, yeah, that makes total sense. I don't see next episode having another climax of any sort. It feels like more stock taking, maybe some small adventure, as the Harfoots set out on their journey, as the Southlanders start anew in a new place. Maybe Durin begins some sort of revolution, or at least gathering forces for a coming revolution. Elrond will have to go talk to Gil-galad and some other elves, perhaps. Admit his inability to get the mithril. And there is a Balrog. Like I'm assuming that's just a tease for next season, but maybe it comes. There's a little hole this big. The Balrog's not getting out through it, and it's got a big old chasm to climb first. But there is a Balrog down at the very bottom there. Really just a tease for season 2, I think. Nevertheless, another beautiful episode, wonderfully shot. So much of the budget of this show shows up on screen, and I'm grateful for that, because it really is beautiful and sweeping and majestic, and it doesn't feel like things have been skipped on anywhere you look. I appreciate that. It's really a glorious looking show, if nothing else. And I'm excited to see the season finale next week. So until then, everybody, take care, stay healthy, we'll see you soon. Cheers.